Reporting for the Intermountain Christian News, I'm Dr. Anthony Harper here at the White House. A couple of special events today. Earlier this morning, I was at the National Press Club for a meeting with the Secretary of Veteran Affairs, Denis McDonough, to ask him a question on behalf of homeless veterans. And so there's going to be a brief video clip and my picture with him at this event. Like I said, National Press Club here in DC, followed by a press meeting at the Pentagon, where I met the person taking questions, Major General Ryder, there, and asking questions about UNRWA, as well as the Palestinian Security Forces and their association with the Hamas in combating IDF. A lot of challenging issues, of course, regarding Israel and Iran of late, with Israel attacking Iran. A lot of people waiting for a response from Iran, what's going to be happening.
We have another question on veterans and housing, and this is from Air Force veteran and White House correspondent, Dr. Matthew Anthony Harper, who joins us today. He says, me and other U.S. veterans are experiencing homelessness, sleeping in our cars, or even on the streets. We can't get HUD VASH housing vouchers and feel that undocumented immigrants receive favor over housing over us. My question for you, how can you help us homeless veterans more with housing and explain the disparity of FEMA with $640 million for undocumented immigrant relocation and housing, and then only $78 million this year for HUD VASH veteran housing?
Yeah, well, thank you, Airman, for the question. The thing that we should do in terms of getting you into housing is make sure that we follow up with you after I leave here, and make sure that we do that. VA, we have outreach. We have homeless veteran outreach teams in every market in the country. And sometimes it takes us a period of engagement with a veteran to establish a trust necessary to get that veteran to work with us to come into housing, transitional housing in the first instance. But we want to then work with that veteran to address whatever the issues were that led to homelessness, be that economic insecurity, unresolved healthcare access questions, untreated substance use disorder questions, to get that veteran then onto a pathway to permanent housing. And the reason to recognize that our goal is permanent housing is because that's what we should expect, and I think that's what veterans should expect in the United States of America. The phrase homeless veteran should not exist in our English language as far as I'm concerned. Last year, we permanently housed nearly 48,000 previously homeless veterans in the United States of America. I'll say that number again. Nearly 48,000 previously homeless veterans were permanently housed in fiscal year 2024. That does not count veterans in transition housing. For example, the veterans in tiny homes on the campus of LA. Doesn't count veterans temporarily in hotels while we work through that transitional housing process to get you into permanent housing. So in every market in the country, if we have a veteran today who's in housing crisis, we, in large measure, can get that veteran into protective housing that night. That's because of an enormously generous appropriation from Congress, supported by Republicans and Democrats. As it relates to HUD VASH vouchers, HUD VASH vouchers are a combination of a HUD voucher with access to what we call VA supportive housing. What does that mean? That means access to care, access to counseling, okay? HUD VASH vouchers are also at the highest level they've been in years. If anything, we do an insufficiently aggressive job of using all of those every month. Those too are a function of a very generous set of appropriations asked for by the president, granted by Republicans and Democrats in Congress. So we're deadly serious about this homelessness issue. I'll talk to you as we leave here, Airman, to make sure we get you into care. And I had the question, so that's good.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you, General. What is your response to the Palestine security forces fighting against the Israeli Defense Force alongside Hamas? And how does the U.S. oversee the Palestine security forces and have follow-up?
So in terms of the security situation and I'm assuming you're talking about the West Bank? Or, yeah. So in the West Bank, again, we want to see a ratcheting down of tensions in the West Bank. I think we've been very clear in terms of our opposition to any type of settler violence or expansion of settlements. We'll continue to consult closely with our Israeli partners on how best to address that situation, but certainly, again, do not want to see temperatures ratcheting up. We do see a future for a role for the Palestinians to play in terms of security. But again, we'll continue to consult closely with partners in the region on that going forward. And you said you had a follow-up?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. Also, there was a concern that the Palestinian security forces might be operating within Israel itself alongside Hamas, but just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, I'm not tracking anything like that.
Okay,
No.
This would be, what is your response to UNRWA involvement in terror activity?
Look, I'm not going to have anything beyond what I've said. We believe that UNRWA plays an important role in terms of providing aid to millions of Palestinians. And again, we'll continue to urge Israel to pause implementing the legislation that would potentially prevent that aid from getting to them. Thank you.
I made that question in light of when I've been in the State Department about Hamas connections. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
In light of the presidential election next week, there's construction activity going on here at the White House in preparation for the inauguration. Very challenging times we are in, a lot of high anxiety regarding election results coming out next week.